Hey guys, I got good news. Isn't that so cliche to say? So many people, we start off videos with, hey guys, I've got good news. Because what's good news to me might not be good news to you, right? Like if I tell you, hey, I just won $10 million, you might say something like this, well, that's good for you. But if I say, hey, I won $10 million and I'm going to give you half, now that's good news to you as well, because it includes you and it includes me. See, not all good news is universal. But the best good news is for everyone. You know, the Bible tells us in Romans 10:13, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The book of Romans goes on to ask some important questions, like how will they call on the one whom they've not believed? And how will they believe in one whom they've never heard? How will they hear without someone to proclaim? And how will they proclaim unless they're sent? So what we can see from these questions of the writer, if the sent ones proclaim, then they can hear. And if they hear, they can believe. And if they believe and call on the name of the Lord, they will be saved. And I want to just share with you three things about the good news, or three things about the gospel today. Good news is meant to be proclaimed or shared. You know, for instance, if you find out that Chick-fil-A is giving away free chicken minis on Thursday mornings, that's good news. And you ought to be sharing that with other people. I love Chick-fil-A. Or for some of you ladies, maybe if you find out that there's a sale at the mall for 50% off, that's good news, isn't it? Now, for some of the husbands, that may not be such good news. And we also understand that there's good news that's good for everyone. The Bible tells us that Jesus Christ came to set us free from the power of sin and death. That's the greatest good news I know. Number two, I want to share with you, good news is for everyone. The good news of Jesus is for everyone. It's not just for Chick-fil-A, because some people may not like Chick-fil-A. Some people may not like shopping at the mall, so that good news may not actually be good news for them. But how many of you know the good news of Jesus, that there's forgiveness of sins, is good for everyone? See, the gospel of Jesus doesn't discriminate. It's good news. It's not xenophobic. It's not sexist. It's not racist. The Bible says, for God so loved the world, not your race, not your sex, not your ethnicity. No one is to be excluded from hearing the good news of Jesus Christ. And number three, it doesn't cost anything to share the gospel with those around you. I want you to think about that for a minute. Imagine if every Christian in the world today would share the gospel with someone they knew this week, just one person. In the United States, that would mean that 205 million people would hear the gospel in 1 week without a big crusade or a conference. Imagine that. Imagine if just half of the Christians in the U.S. would share the gospel with someone this week. That would mean 102.5 million people would hear the good news of Jesus. Or if just 10% of Christians in the U.S. would share the gospel with one person this week, that means 20.5 million would hear the gospel of Jesus Christ this week. Or let's go a little bit lower. How about if 1% of Christians in the U.S. would share the gospel, this good news, with one person? That means 2,050,000 people would hear the gospel without a penny being spent. Think about that today. What an amazing opportunity that we have. You know, you and I can't make other Christians share the good news, but we can become intentional about sharing the good news ourselves with those around us. I want to ask you today to be one of those Christians that would share the good news of Jesus this week. And remember, the gospel's only good news if it gets there in time.